It all started with me minding my peaceful, profitable business on my 10-acre farm just outside the limits of a newly built HOA-ridden suburb called Willow Creek Estates. I had crops rolling in like clockwork, livestock fat and healthy, and a roadside stand that got more foot traffic than their so-called neighborhood farmers market. My land was my pride, my sanctuary, and it had been in my family for 3 generations. I paid my taxes, stayed within county codes, and not once did I bother their manicured fake paradise. But that piece snapped the moment the HOA crowned themselves a new queen. Welcome to Prodigy Tales. Make sure you like and subscribe for your top-notch HOA drama. Karen. Yes, Karen. A freshly divorced, overly tanned Range Rover driving menace with a superiority complex bigger than her fiberglass nails. She had just been elected HOA president and wasted no time in asserting her power like she was running for Congress. I was chopping wood behind my barn one morning when she strutted across the field like she owned it, her little clipboard bouncing at her side and a smug smile pasted on her overly Botoxed face. "Hi there," she chirped. "I'm Karen, and I'm the new president of Willow Creek Estates HOA. We're really excited to have you as our newest member." I blinked, confused. "Member? Of what?" "Of our HOA," she said, as if it were the most natural thing in the world. "You're technically within range, so we expect you to register and start paying dues. It's only fair. You get the benefits too, of course." I laughed. I mean, full belly, wheezing, hands on my knees kind of laugh. "Lady, I own this land. This farm was here before that cookie-cutter suburb existed. I'm not joining anything." Karen didn't flinch. "If you don't comply, we'll be forced to take action. Nobody freeloads in this community." I stared at her like she'd just threatened to tax my cows. "You can try," I said, "but you'll regret stepping foot on my land again." She huffed, turned on her heel, and marched away like a tyrant denied her throne. And that's when I knew this woman wasn't going to stop. A week passed. I figured the storm had blown over. Karen probably returned to her HOA castle to sip mimosas and complain about unapproved mailboxes. But oh no, Queen Karen wasn't done. One bright Tuesday, I was out tending to my beehives when I heard the roar of tires on gravel. Her SUV skidded to a stop just outside my gate, like the FBI had declared my cornfield a national threat. Out she came in full war paint, lips pursed, eyes scanning my land like a hawk that just spotted a fat squirrel. "I came to talk, neighbor," she said, fake sweetness dripping from her voice like syrup. "I think we got off on the wrong foot. Let me tell you what the HOA offers: private security patrols, organized community events, lawn regulation enforcement, and access to the clubhouse gym." I raised an eyebrow. "Karen, I plow fields for cardio and own 2 German Shepherds for security. And if I want events, I'll throw a barbecue." She pushed her oversized sunglasses up like they were a crown. "It's not optional. You're within our expansion zone. If you don't agree, the HOA will begin proceedings to remove you." "Remove me?" I repeated. "From my own property?" She grinned. "Either join us or move." Oh, she had guts. I'll give her that. I took a slow walk up to the gate, leaned on it, and looked her dead in the eye. "Karen, you're about 3 inches away from stepping into a lawsuit buffet. You think I'm going to pack up my great-granddaddy's land because you want HOA control over my scarecrow's outfit?" "I'm not threatening," she said, clearly threatening. "I'm informing. You'll regret not complying." Then she drove off like a villain in a soap opera, dust clouds and all. That night, I noticed something strange. My mailbox was cracked open. My trash bin, which I'd locked down because of raccoons, had been rifled through. And someone left a badly printed flyer on my porch. "Join or leave. HOA standards matter." This wasn't a disagreement anymore. This was war. And Karen had just thrown the first punch in what she thought would be a clean fight. But I don't fight clean when you mess with my land. The next few days were quiet, too quiet. I knew Karen wasn't the type to back down without unleashing a full-blown HOA tantrum, but I wasn't ready for how bold she'd get. I was out back feeding the goats when I caught a waft of paint fumes. I followed the scent to my barn wall and nearly dropped the bucket. There it was, sprayed in cherry red like a horror movie title: "We don't want you." The letters were crooked and sloppy, but the message was loud and clear. My blood boiled hotter than my tractor's engine in July. I checked my camera's blurry footage, but it sure looked like Karen's platinum wig bobbing around in the moonlight, holding a can of spray paint like a trophy. The nerve of this woman. I figured was the end of it until I stepped outside the next morning to a full-on HOA circus camped out by my front gate. 5 of them. Lawn chairs, printed signs, coffee thermoses, the whole setup. Karen was in the middle with a megaphone. "This farm is a stain on our community," she shouted like she was leading a revolution. Refusing to follow HOA standards is unacceptable behavior. One guy was holding a sign that read "Join or GTFO." Another woman had a chant sheet. These people weren't normal. They were HOA possessed. I walked up slow, arms crossed. "Y'all better get off my land before my bulls come out and start making choices." Karen scoffed. "We're not on your land. We're on public property. My fence is right there. You're on my easement, which I own. So unless you want to test the limits of property law, I suggest you fold up those lawn chairs and roll out." Instead of leaving, she doubled down. "We're staging a protest. You'll have to call the police to get rid of us." I laughed. Really laughed this time. "Oh, I'm not calling anyone. I want y'all right here when karma swings by." They kept chanting and waving their signs, oblivious to what was coming. See, I hadn't called the cops yet because I wanted them to dig their own grave. But the best part? The sheriff's office was already watching. Turns out someone else in the neighborhood had reported vandalism, and the trail led right to Karen. The flashing blue and red lights rolled in like salvation dipped in justice. Karen was in the middle of a chant about unsanctioned vegetable aesthetics when the first patrol car pulled up. 2 officers stepped out, one looking amused, the other stone-faced. The HOA crew froze like a deer in headlights. Karen tried to hide the megaphone behind her back like it was a Nerf gun. "Morning," Officer Duke said, tipping his hat at me. "We got a call about ongoing vandalism and trespassing. You wouldn't happen to know anything about that?" I jerked a thumb toward the HOA blockade. "They've been camping here since sunrise, officer. Sprayed my barn 2 nights ago, left harassing flyers, and tried to scare me off my own land." Karen rushed forward like a contestant on Judge Judy. "He's lying. He refused to join our HOA, so we're exercising our right to protest. This is community enforcement." The officers exchanged looks. Duke pulled out a small folder. "Funny, because we got a tip about spray paint being bought in bulk using Willow Creek Estates HOA card, and security footage shows you and your friends tagging his property," Karen stammered. That's not possible. That could have been anyone with white hair and excellent posture." "Oh yeah," Officer Duke smirked. "Then why's your thumb still stained red?" Her eyes widened in horror. She looked down. A streak of cherry red paint was still crusted under her acrylic nail. It was over. Officer Stone moved in. "Ma'am, you and your friends are under arrest for trespassing, vandalism, and harassment. Please place your hands behind your backs." Chaos erupted. One of the HOA members tried to run but tripped over a protest sign. Another sobbed and demanded her HOA immunity badge. Karen, screeching like a banshee, claimed diplomatic status as HOA president. "Don't you people know who I am? I am Willow Creek." "You're going to be willow cuffed," Officer Duke replied, snapping on the zip ties. I stood back, arms folded, watching the mess untangle. Cows mooed behind me like a live audience. Even the goats looked satisfied. As they were escorted to the cruiser, Karen turned one last time, mascara streaking down her cheeks. "You'll regret this. I swear, this isn't over." I waved with a smile. Hope the clubhouse has good lawyers. The end. Please like and subscribe for more HOA showdowns like this. Do you think Karen got what she deserved? Comment below.